This month, my son Neo turns 1, and it's a pretty surreal feeling to know that I've been a dad for a year now, and as any parents will know, it's been a real roller coaster, but overwhelmingly, it's been a heart-opening, deeply purposeful and joyful adventure. And in this video, I just wanted to share a snapshot of Neo's life in Costa Rica as he approaches 1 year on this earth, and everything I'm feeling about getting to observe this incredible little human being, growing, learning, and experiencing the world around him. And I've always appreciated advancements in technology that allow us to create and share in a unique way. Therefore, to help me capture this window into our lives, I'd like to thank my long-term channel sponsor, and honestly the reason I can continue to make YouTube videos for you guys, Insta360 and the new X4 360 camera. And stick around to the end of the video, where I'm going to tease an upcoming electric road trip I'll also be capturing on this camera. And I'll be showing a ton of the features like the higher resolution and frame rates this camera has throughout the video. So first thing I'd like to say is Neo is a real thinker. He observes and studies a lot. And you might mistake his thinking face for a frown, but he's just taking it all in. It's been so beautiful to see him experiencing things for the first time. And I guess most of the moments I get to share with Neo are him playing and exploring. And it's honestly inspiring to watch him and see how he investigates new places. He's fascinated by the simple things. He's just fully present and following his curiosity. And although he has so much to learn, and I can't wait to teach him, there's something about his wide-eyed child's view of the world that I want to learn from, to reconnect with that awe and wonder of the world around me. It's always fun to see how he reacts to new toys. Some that I'm convinced he would love, he doesn't seem bothered about, and then he'll spend an hour playing with a can of tomatoes. He seems particularly drawn to toy cars, buses, any vehicle really. Definitely takes after me. He loves to crawl around and climb up onto things and into boxes, and that's normally my cue to pick him up in the box and fly him around in it. Let's go! Okay. Ah, you're riding in your toy box. Let's go! I think this is my favourite angle I shot in this whole video, and makes me feel like I'm inside the box with him. It's such a unique perspective, and the flow state stabilisation and 360 horizon lock means that as I'm swaying him side to side, it keeps the shot completely level. He's also been loving his new car that he can sit in. He hasn't learned that he should hold the steering wheel yet, but it's been so much fun to push him around in it. And I managed to capture some great shots, connecting the X4 with a suction mount to the front of the car. Most of this was shot in 8K, which was great because I could zoom into his face and capture his reactions. I tried some 4K 120 slow-mo shots as well. He looks terrified here, but I promise he was having a great time. I've been showing him how to drum on pretty much everything, and he's already got a pretty good rhythm. Yeah, where's my food? And then making noises and gestures and seeing him mimic is one of the only ways we can communicate right now, because he's 1, he can't talk yet. And it's really special to share moments like this. It's hard to fully explain the feeling, but every time I see him copy me or learn how to do something new, I just feel so proud of him, even if it's just really simple things. He started to say a few random words, but he mainly just makes funny noises. And we're also trying to teach him baby sign language, but he hasn't managed to pick any of that up yet. Neo loves drinking, and since being in this hotter climate, he's mainly loved just guzzling water. And we occasionally let him try fruit juices and smoothies, and he's pretty obsessed. He's also just a huge fan of fresh fruit, and his favourites are probably a toss-up between bananas or mangoes, which is ideal because we literally live 10 minutes from the fruit capital of Costa Rica. And you might be wondering where we're staying, as we don't have our own house here yet. So we've been staying at our friend's house, which has been really beautiful and the perfect space for Neo. And we've been looking after their cat, Crookshank, and a real friendship has sparked between them. Neo squeals with joy when he sees the cat in the morning. Good morning! Good morning! Good morning! Good morning! And it's beautiful to see him bonding and learning to love all the beautiful animals that we have the privilege to share this planet with. He's been pointing out birds as they fly around, listening to them chirping, and he tries to copy them. Last week, we got to take him on a trip to a nearby animal sanctuary where they rescue, rehabilitate, and release as many of the animals they take in as possible. And those that they can't release are living at the rescue centre. They had some incredible animals living there, most of which Neo had never seen before. Beautiful parrots. Loads of cool different species of birds. Yeah. Hello. Wild pigs, monkeys, even jaguars. We're at the jaguar enclosure. I'm going to get some close-ups with the Insta360.
We put some metal in the cup, so that way they can...
And loads of iguanas that just seem to roam around and seriously look like dinosaurs.
Look, Neo. It's an iguana. Iguana.
And whilst Neo was napping, I got to explore inside this bamboo forest on the property, which made me feel like I'd been shrunk down to a miniature person and I was standing amongst gargantuan blades of grass. Check out this 72 megapixel photo that I took. One of his favourite things to do is to play in water, and since the end of last year when I took him for his first swimming lessons, he's been enjoying the water more and more. It's helped that we've had this swimming pool in the communal area in our eco-village, but also at the house that we're staying at. We have shared some really special moments of pure glee as he splashes and laughs. The X4 is fully waterproof down to 10 meters on its own, but if you want to have a perfectly stitched, crystal clear image underwater, you need the dive housing, which also allows you to go down to 50 meters. I used the X3 with the dive housing to go scuba diving last year, and it was epic. Especially now with the new housing that can do the invisible selfie stick. Playing and splashing in water is always best captured in slow-mo, so I've been using the new 5.7K 60 frames a second setting, and for even slower, 4K 100 frames a second, and the 120 frames a second 5.7K bullet time, which is created by swinging the camera around your head using the bullet time tripod handle. And then we took him to the beach again for the second time, and the sea was a lot rougher than before. I thought the waves might excite him, as he seems to love splashing in the swimming pool, but it turns out he was actually quite scared and unsure of what was going on.
I want to get some first-person shots of playing with Neo.
So as soon as he got close to the water, he seemed to freak out a little bit, turned around and crawled back to safety.
Look! Look!
I think in general he's pretty fearless, so it's kind of cute to see him react like this in situations. And as he grows up, I do want him to have a healthy caution, but don't want him living in constant fear of things. So anyway, seeing as he didn't want to swim in the sea, we ended up playing in the sand. He did seem to want to eat the sand, which is apparently something babies like doing. So I managed to distract him away from the delicious sand, and we got to make mini sandcastles with his plastic pots, which was a lot of fun. So it's been perfect to have this X4 360 camera to capture moments with Neo, to see his perspectives and reactions. And for those who don't know, but you might have been able to tell from the video so far, 360 cameras capture in every direction at once, and you can reframe the shot afterwards. And this is perfect for capturing those natural moments we often miss because we didn't have the camera pointed in the right direction, especially for capturing moments with kids because they are never predictable. And for the last couple of months, he's been practicing walking by pushing chairs and boxes around and then holding onto our hands and walking around. But being able to capture some of his first actual steps has been a beautiful thing this month. We kept missing the moments, but finally caught his longest walk yet. Obviously 360 cameras are not a new thing. I've been shooting on them for 9 years now, but this camera is a huge jump forward with the fact that it can shoot 8K resolution, which for normal cameras is often a bit overkill, but for 360 it's an absolute game changer because it means you can reframe and zoom in even more without losing quality.
Are we rolling? So this is actually our last day in Alegria, and I'm just riding up the electric bike to put it in storage because we're heading back to the UK soon. But this has been such an amazing trip, and like I've shared throughout the video, just being able to experience Neo's life right now as he's about to turn 1 has been such a joy. And I hope you've enjoyed learning a bit about this camera as well. Quite a lot of my adventures last year I shot on the X3, so like the kayaking trip out to the wind farm, the cycle I did all the way to Antwerp. I was shooting actually with 2 X3s, and I'm really excited to test out the potential and all the new features. I'm really excited to test out all the new features of the X4. Some of the features I didn't get to touch on when filming stuff with Neo was one of the biggest game changers for this camera is that it comes with removable lens guards, and this is something I really desperately need. Last year, I actually dropped my camera 3 times pretty majorly. One just before the kayaking trip. It was on the kayak and it fell to the side and slightly scratched the lens. Another time I was shooting with it mounted on the front of my Beetle that I'm converting to electric, and the tow hitch that I clamped it to wasn't tight and it span and hit the road and quite badly chipped the lens. And then also when I was cycling to Antwerp, one of them was on my chest mount and slowly unscrewed and fell onto the floor. Luckily there was no damage, but I think having the removable lens guards is going to give me a complete peace of mind for my future adventures. And as you've seen in this video, shooting with a 360 camera gives you completely unique shots that you can't get with other cameras really. Like even riding the bike here, being able to spin around hands-free, shoot where I'm heading, come back to me, zoom out, zoom into my face. I feel like these are things you just can't do with another camera. This is the steepest part of the hill, by the way. I don't think my bike can fully make it up, so I'm gonna have to pedal a little bit. Yeah, so I'm excited to shoot some upcoming adventures this year with the X4. One of my upcoming adventures that I can tell you about actually is that I'm gonna be riding an electric moped. I'm gonna attempt to do it all solar powered from the UK to Italy. in a couple of months. So I'll be capturing that whole adventure on the X4. And yeah, I don't know whether I'm going to succeed, but I think that's the whole point of setting myself some of these ridiculous challenges is they're not all successful. As you remember with the electric van across America, didn't quite make it. I've got some really exciting plans for that, but I want to do a little tester with this solar powered trip in the moped first as a kind of step one in investigating whether solar powered travel is possible. I think with these upcoming adventures, one of the other features I'm excited about is that the battery life is so much better on the X4. It's going to give me a lot more shooting time. It means I won't have to stop and charge up the camera so often. I was doing that every chance I had on the cycle trip to Antwerp. I was having to stop off at lunch and charge up the batteries and stuff. And then for those of you that are unsure whether you really need a 360 camera and it's a bit daunting, the idea of kind of reframing everything in post and, you know, it being a bit time consuming. Although for me, that's one of the exciting things that I get to do, all that kind of post-production. That's where a lot of the creativity comes in. But if you want to keep things simple, the X4 has single lens mode, 4K, 60 frames a second, which for me basically eradicates the need for a conventional action camera. Like, you don't need more than that. Woo! And then the same as the X3, there's me mode, which points directly back at you as you're shooting with a selfie stick. And then both single frame and me mode spit out a single video file ready to edit, ready to upload to your socials. And then finally, if you are editing the 360 footage, like I have been in this video, there's a new view called Mega View, which gives you a wider linear view.
So I hope you've enjoyed this snapshot of Neo's life just before turning 1. And I'm excited to continue to capture our lives as he grows up and we adventure the world together as a family. Thanks again to Insta360 for sponsoring this video. Check out the link in the description to get your own Insta360 X4 to capture your own life and adventures. And the first 25 people who use my link will also get free invisible selfie stick. And if you aren't subscribed already, please do. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.